Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome to Virgo season. Virgo, the virgin, meticulous, nitpicky. These are a couple of the words that people usually use to describe Virgo. But when I think of Virgo, I like to take it back a little bit deeper, because what is a virgin truly represent? A virgin represents newness, right? Hasn't been touched, hasn't experienced a lot. So there's like a sense of innocence there. There's a sense of childlike inquisitiveness and curiosity. Virgo is the end of the first half of the year. Pisces, the polar opposite, is the end of the second half of the year. So we have the culmination. Let me make sure I get this right. I had it perfectly in my head earlier. Pisces is the culmination of all, where Virgo is the culmination of the self. There it is. Right. Aries represents the complete individuality, and Virgo is like the culmination of self, of that depth of growing to know oneself. And then Libra brings us into relationships, and then Pisces is the culmination of self, or culmination of the collective, right? So right now we're in Virgo season, we're entering into the culmination of the self, and it's also harvest season, which is why Virgo represents service. How can we be of service to others? The things that we have learned and worked on and grown, how can we harvest them as we prepare for the fall, transitioning into winter, to get through the dark days of winter, or rather the short days of winter, right? So today I have a 6-card spread and my archetype cards from Caroline Myss and the Ascended Masters from Doreen Virtue. I really like to use these in conjunction with these readings. The archetype usually has a light and a dark aspect. What energy are we working in? And the Ascended Masters is how can we tune into the higher energy of the archetype, right? And then of course we have the 6 tarot cards to kind of represent the energies that we're going to experience through the Virgo season, which I am a few days behind on. And I would like to blame Mercury retrograde, but it really has nothing to do with that. It's just me, and that's okay. Better late than never, right? Sometimes I actually think it's a little bit better, instead of doing it ahead of time and preparing, kind of getting into the season, kind of feeling the energy, and then laying out the cards to kind of make sense of, okay, this is why I'm experiencing this. Now, what can we do to change it? So I'm going to actually start with the archetype card, because when I pulled it, I was like, oh my God, this perfectly summarizes how I like to think of Virgo, right? Again, Virgo is like innocent, childlike inquisitiveness, playful, right? Even though there's the harvest to be had, we still need to do it with a lightness in our heart, because if it's not fun, it's not worth doing, even if it means, even if it's necessary for survival. And here I pulled the eternal child to represent the archetype that we're in Virgo. And I was like, oh, yes. The light attributes are the determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes. This is another aspect of Virgo that I truly appreciate. I feel like a lot of the Virgos that I know in my life, because there's always light and dark aspects to every energy, including the astrology signs. And the light aspect of Virgo is the people in my life are always able to see things with the Virgos in my life are able to see things with a fresh perspective. They're able to come at it with a natural inquisitiveness. There's no hard or fast. It's the mutable earth sign. There's a deep understanding, right? Because what teenager doesn't think they know everything? But still knowing that there's more to learn. And that darker aspect of the Virgo becomes that meticulous nitpicking, right? Because in an attempt to search for understanding, we can kind of hone in and we create blocks, right? Blinders. You can create blinders. So the shadow attributes is the inability to grow up and be responsible, extreme dependency on others for physical security, which, you know, some people just never truly grow up. But there's like a fine line between when that's healthy and when that kind of impedes progress, right? Like the ability to always tune into our childlike inquisitiveness and self, I think, is a really important part of life to hold on to, as long as we're not letting it get in the way of growing as a person, where we just kind of buck off responsibilities and expect other people to do the harvesting for us, and we come in and reap the rewards, right? There's that balance. And so for our Ascended Masters, Kuan Yin keeps coming up for me. I would say, especially my own personal readings, she comes out, and I shuffle. She keeps coming up. Kuan Yin, let it go. She is like the female embodiment of the Buddha. She is let me read, let it go. Kuan Yin is the beloved Buddhist goddess of compassion, whose name means she who hears all prayers. At her mortal death, Kuan Yin was eligible for Buddhahood, yet she decided to stay close to earth and help all humans until everyone became enlightened. You can call upon Kuan Yin for help with forgiveness and compassion, and to have your needs met in gentle and loving ways. Let it go. It's time to stop struggling, pushing, or forcing things to happen. This leads to blocks and frustration. Stop pushing against universal flow. When you let the situation go to spirit, you automatically open supportive doors that bring solutions and an outcome exceeding your expectations. Trust that the universe is on your side, right? And so I feel like that helps us kind of tap into that eternal child nature, right? Because children trust the adults around them, and if we bring that into, as an adult embodying our childlike self, we trust spirit always has our back, right? And the community reading I just did, it was the theme that kind of came up was it's either play victim or take accountability. Does life happen to you, or does it happen for you, right? But when we come from that place where we are willing to go with the flow and let universe show us what is there for us to learn, and having that childlike energy of knowing and trusting that the universe has our back makes it easier to move with life through life with flow. So now for our tarot spreads, I'm just going back and forth. Analyze. So we have the 6-card spread for Virgo season. Analyze, organize, heal, serve, harvest, and our guiding star. I found this tarot spread on, what is it called? Pinterest. I was going to say Etsy. On Pinterest. Sometimes when I'm just not feeling the inspiration to create my own spreads, Pinterest is a great resource. We have Lady Alchemia, I think this is her spread, and I really loved it. I really resonated with it. So analyze. What aspects of our life require analysis? We have the 7 of Swords here, using my Philadelphia Inspired Tarot deck. So the swords represented by the quill pen. And typically, traditionally, the 7 of Swords represents sneaking around, deceit, trickery, but I like to think of it as sometimes that we are taking on more than we can actually handle, and we have to leave something behind. So there's 2 ways to look at this, right? Is something being left out on purpose for deceit, or is something being left out because it's just we can't take on that burden anymore? So analyze. What aspects of our life require analysis? So again, we're going to talk about both interpretations here. What resonates with you, take, and what doesn't, leave behind. Right, so what do we need to analyze? Where are you trying to get away with more than you should be? Where are you maybe not being honest with yourself or the people in your life? But I think honestly, it goes a little bit deeper than that even. What is it that we can let go of, right? Let it go. I wasn't even trying for that. It just happened. Right? For the highest good. Organize. How can we achieve better organization in our life? Well, I'm really looking at this hard because I am in the throes of taking a deep look at myself and how I'm currently living in my physical environment and trying to organize that. See my Sailor Moon dolls up there. You can't see the pile of books and paperwork everywhere, creating some accountability for myself in public. That's scary. We have the Ace of Pentacles reversed. How can we create some organization in our life? Well, interesting. The Ace of Pentacles represents like new financial opportunity. It can also be about moving sometimes, changing physical locations. How can we achieve better organization in our life? Well, we have the card as reversed. So this is not about finding something new. It's about resisting the urge to do something new, right? Looking at what is here and now and focusing on the physical environment, because we have the Pentacles, the earth energy, and bringing a new way of thinking to what's already here. And I am like looking at this, I'm like, yep, shifting perspective as to how we can work with our physical environment. I think, yeah, and coming back to Kuan Yin, what can we let go of, right? Heal. What parts of ourselves require healing? How can we heal ourselves? So we have the Nine of Wands reversed. What parts of ourselves require healing? This is really interesting because yesterday, both the Ace of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands, both reversed, showed up. So here we are again. I will be tagging those friends when I post this video. The Nine of Wands, how can we heal? Right? Nine of Wands shows that we've been doing a lot of work. We're kind of burdened by the work that we've been doing, taking on. And it's coming to mind again, what I said to my friend yesterday, right? There's only so much growth we can do before we have to kind of just sit in the growth and like live that expression before we move forward. And I think, how we heal is to kind of like acknowledge all the work that we've done so far to get us to this point. And I'm feeling this on a personal level as well. And just kind of live in the energy of like what we've just created for ourselves. Like kind of let go of needing to work and grow a little bit and kind of just sit with what has grown. And that's where we can do another level of healing by living the expression of the work that we've done so far. Serve. How can you best assist others? And I saw this card come out and I was like, oh yes, how appropriate. The High Priestess, right? Tuning in to the innate wisdom within that allows us to connect to spirit. And then bring that energy and that wisdom to those around us. I mean, how much more perfect can that be? The High Priestess is surrounded by pomegranates, which represents like fertility and abundance, right? So when we can get clear with ourselves, we can connect with spirit, we can bring that message to those around us, and that is where true abundance lives. Love that. Okay, the writing on that is really hard to read. Harvest. Harvest. What in your life is ready to be harvested? And we have the Six of Coins reversed. And Six of Coins represents charity, either giving or receiving. And usually it really depends on like who you're talking to and what the situation is. But I feel like Six of Coins reversed is showing us that what's ready to be harvested, it's time to accept some help. It's time to stop overexerting ourselves. Like we've got the Nine of Wands showing us we've been doing a lot, and now it's time to receive the help that we need to make the most of the harvest, right? If you think about even like farmers, one person is not going to harvest a whole field by themselves, right? It takes a team, a family, a village, a tribe, what have you. And I feel like the Six of Coins reverse is showing us it's time to allow ourselves to receive help from those around us to make the most of what we have, the work that we've been putting in, right? I think that's so beautiful. And guiding star. The guiding star is the divine advice to guide you through this season. And we have the Five of Wands reversed. So Five of Wands can represent conflict. And so it's our guiding star. It's reversed. It's do not engage in the conflict. Walk away from it. Conflict will probably arise at some point. People, as we go through this work of healing, there's always going to be someone that has something to say that will make you want to doubt yourself. And usually the instinct is to fight, especially when you think about like that childlike energy, that defensiveness of like, no, I know, like drop the attitude, just walk away, don't engage, do not engage. If it's in conflict with your direct personal journey or direct personal beliefs, do not engage. It is not worth the energy. Again, acknowledge all the work that you've done and allow yourself to receive from another source. Go find the person or people that actually support you in this, right? It's not worth the energy to engage in conflict with someone who just doesn't get it. Whatever that means for you, right? So yeah, that's really great. So to review, let me just bring this over here so I'm not turning around. Analyze, we got to look at where we're taking on too much or we're trying to get away with too much. We can organize better, we can achieve better organization in our life by bringing a new perspective to our immediate environment and trying to fix what's already here instead of just moving on to something new, like bring the newness to what's currently here for us now. Healing ourselves by sitting and acknowledging all the work that we've done. Again, stop trying to take on too much, right? There's an overall theme here of like, we've done a lot and now let's like enjoy the rewards of all the work that we've been doing in terms of personal growth. How can we best serve? By tuning in to the higher aspects of ourself, our ability to tune into spirit and connect and channel with spirit and bring that message to those around us. And what in our life is ready to be harvested? Ability to receive help, right? Like Seven of Wands is telling us, or Seven of Swords and the Nine of Wands have shown us that we've done a lot, we're taking on too much, now it's time to receive that help. But then, avoid the conflict, right? There's always someone out there to help you. If there's someone that you're coming across that is not helpful or is bringing you down, just walk away, go find the next person. But yeah, stay close to home. I'm kind of getting that just came up. And again, just trust that the universe, and here's the other aspect, when we let go of that which no longer serves us, when we let go of the conflict of people whose opinions do not match our own, we open the door for the next person who will meet our higher good to show up, right? Like when we trust that the universe has our best interest at heart and we're willing to listen to the signs and we let go of what's not working, the next thing that is ready for us will come in. But we have to make space for that in our life. And that can even, and I'm thinking, back to the Ace of Pentacles, refreshing our physical space can create an energetic shift as well. Something I gotta like beat into my brain a little bit on a personal note. So as always, my intention is that this message finds whoever needs to hear it the most. I hope that for those of you that do find this message, there is something in here for you today to help you operate for your highest well-being. Namaste, my friends, and happy Virgo season. And stay tuned. We have the full moon in Pisces coming up. I will be doing that. That recording will be up soon as well.